And you just heard Gerald Celente talk about the Wall Street bonuses. We've heard plenty reported on that. But what about Wall Street tax refunds? Journalist David Degrew from ampstatus.com joins us to explain how the Wall Street banks who taxpayers bailed out could be paying $0 in taxes and actually getting $33 billion in tax refunds. David, thanks for joining us. Now, you write, for example, to cite your writing that Bank of America and Wells Fargo will pay $0 in federal taxes in 2009, that Bank of America will net $3.6 billion in benefits from the federal government in 2009, and Wells Fargo will net $4 billion from the federal government, and that J.P. Morgan is on tap to receive $1.4 billion. How is this all possible?
I mean, this is purely insane. J.P. Morgan made $12 billion in profit. Now they're getting $1.4 billion in tax refunds. If you look at the bonuses that were handed out on Wall Street, and you look at these $33 billion in new tax refunds they just received, that works out to $180 billion tax dollars that they took. If we took that money, put it back into the tax system, we could pay the average median annual wage to 6 million Americans, okay? So what would be a better use of our tax dollars? Give $180 billion more to Wall Street and billionaires, or put 6 million Americans back to work? I mean, this is outrageous. This is ridiculous. I don't understand how this can possibly be happening.
Well, and you call these guys financial terrorists. I mean, obviously you're a critic. Did you hear any signs that this will be reined in, that any of this will change with the regulations we're hearing about today that Obama's announcing?
Well, I mean, who knows? Obama's track record so far hasn't been all that great. I mean, they had a lot of tough talk a year ago with the pay czar and, you know, clawing back pay. But, you know, what happened after that? Record-breaking bonuses were handed out. So the track record here is not good. I mean, I'm hoping that Obama will rein these guys in, but, you know, it's yet to be seen.
And if not, I'm curious if you think there will be some kind of growing momentum or outrage among Americans as the divide widens between rich and poor, because as you point out, I think you say the number of billionaires at the end of 2009 soared from a little under 800 to over 1,000.
Right. Okay. Billionaires in the United States increased their aggregate wealth 50% during this economic crisis. These are billionaires increasing their aggregate wealth 50%. Meanwhile, 50% of U.S. children are using a food stamp during their childhood. 50 million Americans are living in poverty. Right now, we have the highest poverty rate in the industrialized world. Meanwhile, record-breaking bonuses, record-breaking profits. I mean, this is sick and twisted, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at it, the robber barons of the Gilded Age look like Boy Scouts compared to what's happening on Wall Street right now. This is utterly ridiculous.
When you talk about the record-breaking profits and the record-breaking bonuses, I'm just curious how, if that is the case, it's possible for these banks to be getting tax refunds, because that just doesn't seem to make sense. If you make a profit, you pay taxes on it.
It makes zero sense. I mean, this is why Americans think that the system is rigged, that, you know, there was a financial coup in this country, and that, you know, is Obama the president of the United States, or is he the president of the Wall Street Public Relations Department? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Are you of the camp that believes this announcement on Wall Street today, or to Wall Street, about financial regulation is more of a show than actually an attempt to regulate and change the financial system?
Well, I certainly hope it is, you know, for real. But, I mean, I seriously doubt it. I mean, it's only a civil case. It's not a criminal fraud case. I mean, how come we're not hearing racketeering charges filed? You know, RICO laws certainly apply to this case. I mean, this is something that we could pull off in court. But, you know, nothing. It's a low-level Goldman Sachs employee, some 30-year-old errand boy. You know, it's not Lloyd Blankfein on the chopping block here. This is, you know, it is, to me, it's all show.
And you sound to be referring.
I hope I'm wrong.
And you sound to be referring to the SEC case that they filed on Friday against Goldman Sachs alleging civil fraud. Thanks so much for joining us and weighing in on the news.